And I'm doing my speech on Babe Ruth. George Herman Ruth, better known as Babe Ruth, is considered one of the greatest baseball players and most recognizable athletes of all time. He changed the game of baseball forever, and his legacy still remains today. Babe Ruth has many nicknames, such as the Great Bambino, the Colossus of Clout, and the King of Clash, but many know him better as just the Babe. George was born on February 6, 1985 in Baltimore, Maryland. He had a rough and troubled childhood where he was in and out of trouble with the law, and so his parents then sent him to St. Mary's Industrial School, which was essentially a reformatory school and an orphanage. There, they were taught the game of baseball, and George played the game of baseball with his classmates for fun. He developed great skills at baseball while he was at St. Mary's, and at age 19, he was recognized by a minor league scout and signed to a contract for $250 a month. However, that minor league team disbanded and fell apart, and he was sold to the Boston Red Sox. He had a slow start in Boston and a slow start to his MLB career, where he didn't know if he was going to be a pitcher or if he was going to play the field. In Boston, he developed more as a pitcher, and he became one of the greatest left-handers in the game. In Boston, they won multiple World Series, and many of it was due to the success of Babe Ruth on the mound. However, Babe Ruth decided he also wanted to play full-time in the field when he wasn't pitching. Boston wasn't very happy with this, and the legend of Babe Ruth began to grow as he had more success in the field. Boston manager, however, was not happy with them being a one-man team, so they sold him to the Yankees for $100,000 on December 26, 1919. As a member of the Yankees, he became a power-hitting outfielder, and over the years, he set many MLB records. A lot of them had to do with home runs, where Ruth was hitting in the high 50s and 60s of home runs a year when the next closest major leaguer was only hitting 19. In New York, he became a legend, and many perceived him to be superhuman, and many newspapers wrote about Babe Ruth year-round. One of the most recognizable things about Ruth when he was on the Yankees is the lineup they had in 1927 called Murderers Row, which included him and Lou Gehrig, and is considered one of the best lineups ever compiled in the game of baseball. As a Yankee, Ruth became one of the greatest hitters of that time, and certainly one of the greatest hitters of all time. However, later in his career, his play declined, and he decided to retire from the game in 1935. Ruth eventually died of cancer in 1948. However, his legacy was left behind, which is unparalleled. He set many of records, although many have been broken by now, but his legend still continues, and he is still considered one of the best to ever live.